Right then, less talking, more doing. Bit fine this thread, isn't it? I want to find one with a coarser thread really if we can, so let's search about a bit, see if we can get something with a coarser thread on it. So I think we've got what we want, a nice coarse thread, nice thick one. That's going to do. We'll cut this up, then we'll cut this to match it, so we're not struggling with a one off. We've got plenty of these. This is the nut for it, but we want this nut, don't we? So I'm going to use a word that maybe might not be appropriate, but we'll cut this down here and we'll bastardize that nut onto there and that'll go wrong, which will leave us this ring, but then will give us the size we want for there. And this will go through there easily once it's done. So what we've got to do now then is create the nut. Cut this off here. I know it's a load of bother, but it's not fun if it's not a load of bother. When you can replace that with that there-ish and hope we don't foul up and weld this ring onto there. We like a challenge, don't we? Yeah, so we can cut that off, put that in its place. That's the nut we want, and that's the beginning, isn't it? Yeah, don't shake the hand, well down there. Yeah, that's what we can do. So let's do that first then, and then that will give us the confidence to cut nice coarse thread like this. Use 2 of them. Easy peasy. Hey, we're going to be listening to Dua Lipa. Let me tell you something. Go on to BBC or on your YouTube. Go and find the concert on Friday. The beginning of Glastonbury. If you think, oh, modern music, don't listen to it, I don't know who she is, blah, blah, blah. If you just want music to rock and tick and bang and clap and shout and scream, Debbie was up in the room dancing last night. What a fantastic show she put on in Glastonbury last night. Wow, what a set of music. The dancers were amazing, the energy, the crowd, everything you expect, but it was absolutely faultless. And if you just like music for the sake of music, something you can sit there and tap your toes to, tap your fingers to, some of the songs you might remember, you think, oh yeah, was that her, was it? I highly recommend, go and find Dua Lipa, the Glastonbury concert, the Friday night Glastonbury concert, and don't forget, turn the stereo, turn the Atmos, Dolby Atmos flat out. And we didn't realise it was midnight before the concert finished. And poor neighbours, sorry neighbours, we don't usually make a noise, but it was flat out in the room last night. It was fantastic, and it didn't stop till midnight. So go and find Dua Lipa Glastonbury concert. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. So, I'll cut the nut off, that's still going round. Let's just hammer that on there now. Hopefully. Let's see. Bit of Reggie welding. Chose that nut because it wasn't galvanized. We've either got to rub the galvanized off this, wire brush it, or grind it off, or go and find a non-galvanized nut. It'll just make the welding much easier. So we use this waterproof paint thing one. Got rid of the galvanized one. Put the nut in the hole, put the thread at the top so we get it splatter, we'll be alright. I think there's plenty of room, we'll touch. Because the little ears are going to be up here, aren't they? A little one there, a little one there. So they're the ears. So oh yeah, we're going to be just fine. Just fine. I better get the fire extinguishers ready. All I've done is put the bolt, put the spacer, clamped it together so we've got a nice close cut together. I call these sparklers, the smallest ones I've got. And I'm just gonna touch it first, get a smallest of connections, and then run it free. And then every bit I weld, I know where the problem was. So I'll do this bit and then I'll do the next bit. So we know we've tacked it together now. We're gonna weld it a bit more. So at least if it stops after this point, we know where we've been welding, so we know where to release it. Yeah. Anyway, it's coming on okay. Coming on okay. See, we've slightly gone over here and we've slightly touched there, but at least we know where the problem is now. Can you see where that was touching there? We just ground it off. We're free. And so we know that problem's sorted. Let's move on to the next bit. Got a little bit overconfident there and melted the whole lot, but let's get out of that problem now. But this is now well and truly welded and jammed, so let's work on that. We've well slaughtered that. Hammer time! So we got ourselves out of that little problem. This this screws in nice and easy. It's going to be even better when I clean it, take the galvanizing off it, and put oil on it. I like to see it working without oil first, and the ring is working, look. And we've got that well mullered onto there, so we can move forward now, can't we? We can move forward. Should we put the ears on before we completely mess the whole job up? Could do with the ears putting on first, couldn't it? Bring them down a bit. Let's go and find the ears. Yeah, quite pleased with that. That'll all clean up. Hit that a bit. But then you get splatter, see. Oh, all you want is one little bead like that in the wrong place in the thread, and you're done in. But this is going to be, that's going to be just great. That's got the desired effect. Yeah, I like these Allen key heads as little winding handles. Except you've got to make sure there's no splatter in here. Catches it, so I might, I'm between two minds whether to really, I should flatten that off, put that in there, so if it does catch something, we can screw it through and grind the end off, or if it catches a thread, this will clean it as it goes out. Or so to just get a bit of wood, make it a bit round on the belt sander, and just stuff a piece of wood in there. That would do the same trick, wouldn't it? Just to stop any splatters, any spits like that ending up upsetting our threads in or out. Because when you're working by threads, it's so easy to knacker that up. But anyway, look. So far, so good. Don't speak too soon. I'm going to do it this way. Keep away from the end of that hole. Here, here. Turn it over there. A poor workman blames his tools, doesn't he? But look how pox-ridden these things are. I've had them for years and years. They're lovely little ones. And I keep them in a tin there. And they've been there for years and years. And they're all, you know. So, yes, I'm doing the best with what I've got. So, a poor worker blames his tools. I'm not welding. I'm not blaming me. I'm blaming these rotten old manky welding rods, but they're going to have to do, won't they? They're going to have to do. So, we've made our nut. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with the nut. It looks quite nice, doesn't it? Yeah, and we've got our ring that's going to, we'll weld a chain onto that, a bit of chain. So, yeah, so far, so good. I think that's the last of the technical bits for now of welding and all that. We had to get this right first, didn't we? Make sure it's working. Woohoo!